Hi again. I want to take just a couple of minutes and I want to talk about plagiarism. This is a very quick way just for me to talk about Berkeley College's policies and my own policies. Now, some of these ideas or concepts you may not be familiar with, and that's okay. I believe in being as direct and as clear as I possibly can. And if you ever have a question about plagiarism or citing a source, please feel free to talk to me. You can send me a message and we will have a conversation and we will figure things out. The first thing I want to say or talk about is just how important plagiarism is and cutting down on plagiarism is. I sincerely believe that cheating is one of the biggest threats to education today. A few years ago, there was an article in which a researcher put out a percentage, which kind of freaked me out. This researcher claimed that about 60% of college students have cheated at some point. That blows my mind. My guess, based off of other research I've seen, is that that number's actually gone up, not down. All right, so because of that number and because of how serious plagiarism is, I want to really lay out how this class and how many Berkeley classes cut down on cheating. Because for education to be worth anything, we have to be doing our own work. This is the only way we grow. This is the only way we can move forward, not just in education, but in life. All right, so first thing I want to say is keep in mind that all assignments will be checked for plagiarism. This includes obviously written assignments. Those will go directly through Turnitin. You will be able to see a percentage for your plagiarism report, and you'll be able to see matches. So that is the one of the ways that we cut down on plagiarism. However, I also check any discussion board and any quiz response through Turnitin as well. Make sure that all of the work on all of the assignments is your own. All right. Now, the other thing I want to say is about copying and pasting. I want to give you some general rules to live by in this course, but also probably in any Berkeley College online course. The basic rule is that you should not be copying and pasting a huge amount of information into your papers. If you have a particular quote that you absolutely must have and you think is really relevant to your point and to whatever you're working on, that is perfectly fine. That makes sense. One of the things we do when we work with sources is we have quotes that we are lifting from them. My general rule, and this is not something you have to stick to all the time, but my general rule is that you probably shouldn't be copying and pasting more than a couple of sentences. So just use the most important information for you. Even if you do that, you must tell me or whoever is reading your paper where that information is coming from. You have to put it in quotes and in parentheses or footnote, depending on the kind of citing you are using in any of your classes. You have to cite the source. Don't pass it off as your own idea. As soon as you do that, it's cheating. All right. Now, even if you have a works cited page and you have a particular source in there, this does not mean for any Berkeley class that you can copy and paste huge chunks of that paper. So if you have a source in your works cited page, it doesn't mean you can just take 2 paragraphs from that source and put it into your paper. So limit your copying and pasting. If you do any copy and pasting at all, you have to tell me where it was from. And then you have to write in your own voice about why you use that quote. Basically justify to me that you included those couple of sentences. The last form of cheating that I want to talk about is something that is very, very common, and it needs to be cut down on. And you may not know about it. So I want to be direct about it. All right, now Berkeley College and most colleges that I'm aware of have a policy against self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is when you, without talking to your professor, reuse something from a previous class or from a class that you are in right now. Be aware that this counts as cheating. If you want to use anything that you produced in a previous class or for another course, you must run it by me. All right, now assume that you do not have permission to use it. If you ask me, maybe we can work something out. However, most likely I'm going to ask everyone to only use information and essays that are produced specifically for this course. That isn't me being mean. That is simply a way of keeping things fair. So everything that you are producing has been produced within the 15 weeks for the course. It keeps things fair so that it's not like you get feedback from another class for another essay and then work it into this course. That seems efficient, but I highly recommend against it. All right, those are my basic policies and Berkeley College's basic policies. If you ever have any questions about plagiarism, please feel free to reach out to me and we'll talk.